Hi, I'm Simon at Firefly Studios, and today we're going to be bringing you a new Stronghold Next development update. We're not revealing the title or the setting of the game just yet, but some of the guys here in the dev team are going to be talking to you about the details of some of the things they're working on.
We announced it back in 2015. At that time though, it wasn't a solid idea. It was kind of like, we know that the fans wanted to hear what the hell we were doing with Stronghold because it had been a few years since Crusader 2. And actually funny, I remember us walking to Gamescom, whatever, I assume that was 2015. And I remember us actually mulling over ideas that, could form the next Stronghold Next. And so, it was kind of, you could see at that time, we were kind of still working on what would work best for a Stronghold, next Stronghold game. This year, we've kind of gone into full development on Stronghold Next. So Firefly isn't a tiny company, but we're also not massive. So we do multiple projects. So a lot of it's about realigning resources and getting people, onto projects when we need them. So the good news is that 2018 was the year when we were actually able to put everyone that normally works on the core Stronghold projects onto Stronghold Next, which is great because that means it's full steam ahead now. This is what we call full production. So we've got programmers, artists, designers, everyone now focusing on Stronghold Next, and that will continue into next year. So we've got a lot of art. The key thing about Stronghold game is to get things like the economy going as soon as possible. So a lot of the farms have been made, industries obviously. We've got the campaign. There's a lot of interesting things going into that. So we need the core systems in there because that is going to be absolutely key to making the campaign one of the best campaigns we've ever made. We've been working a lot on the castle walls, because we think we can do a lot of improvements over Crusader 2 on those. As we're going along, we're making sure multiplayer is all working so that we feel that will help us produce a really good, solid multiplayer experience when the game comes out.
We're definitely trying to listen to our players and get the city and the castle to look a lot more lively and have peasants that actually animate, go around, children running around, animals, and actually we're going to have group activities as well. All of those things make it feel a lot more alive and give that extra bit of attention to detail that we like to show in our games. Everything is brand new. We have brand new animations for all the characters, which will make it look really cool. We have staged destructions this time, so rather than everything happening at once, it'll be in stages, which is also very nice. On the texture front, we have much crisper and cleaner textures and higher resolution textures as well. So obviously the new setting is really exciting for me to work on. I'm trying to stay as historically accurate as possible when working on characters and buildings, but obviously this is art, so I get to put my bit of flair into it as well, while trying to keep the authenticity as high as possible. And some of the new siege equipment is really exciting for me to work on as well because it's weird, it's wacky, and it's real. So that will surprise a lot of people.
So we're planning a historically authentic campaign for the next Stronghold game. It's going to be spread across multiple characters with over 20 missions in total. Each chapter of the main campaign is centered around a different historical figure. In order to bring them to life, these characters are going to interact with you in lots of ways. So they'll speak to you during the main campaign. They'll be giving you commands and orders, and if you're doing well, they'll give you good responses. Ultimately, all our characters are seeking positions of power, and they do this through diplomacy, through war, through treachery, through any means necessary. I really want people to feel like they understand our characters, that through playing these campaigns that they're following their lives and getting insider look on their stories and what motivates them and brought them to these actions. So traditional mission types would be either assaulting or defending castles. And we definitely want to keep those in because we think they work great. So we want to mix in other types of missions as well, missions that will get you into, say, more of the economic side of the game as well, get you into the building, and understanding the new game mechanics that we're bringing in. But we also want to have other kinds of missions in the campaign. We really want to use the campaign as a springboard to get people into the game, learn about all the new mechanics, new units, new buildings, everything, and understand how it all works.
So this time around, we're giving a lot of focus to Castle Life, to the sort of sim aspect of it. We really want to make it feel like a living, breathing castle with living, breathing people in it, you know, scurrying around, doing their chores, just general day-to-day life. So as a programmer, obviously it's an interesting challenge to take all those ones and zeros and make them feel like actual people. But hopefully, you know, we've achieved that. That said, as I mentioned before, we want to allow players to play the game however they want and focus on what they want. So combat's getting a lot of love as well. You know, new units, new mechanics, and all that good siege warfare stuff that we know you guys love. Something else that I'm really passionate about is the player created content. It's great going on to the Steam Workshop and seeing what people have come up with. So we're going to be putting a bit of focus, a bit of love into the map editor and the tools around that. Give players more options, new ways to create their maps, and maybe create some stories to go along with those maps. In terms of the release of it, we're hoping to make it available sooner than we did with Crusader 2, ideally around launch. So then we can start looking at all those recreations of Minas Tirith that we love seeing so much.
So that's it for this update. Hopefully the passion we have for the game came across from the developers and from ourselves. If you want to know more about Stronghold Next, then don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can learn more about the game and all our other games. And that's about it, except to say Happy New Year, and we look forward to telling you more about the game and finally announcing it early next year.